Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a full stack Java developer. So this person has a terrible ratio, that is 150 to 1. What a ratio is how many applications it takes to get an interview. Ideally, your ratio should be lower than 1 in 50. Should be for every 50 applications you send, you should at least be getting one interview. Hopefully we can move it even lower to like 1 in 20, but 1 in 50 is like the minimum you want. This person is 3 times that, so it's 150 to 1, so it's awful. So I'm expecting this resume to be terrible. I am going to only have 20 seconds to find these qualifications, which is how long recruiters have. So the qualifications for a full stack Java developer are your degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, React.js, API, RESTful API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, Java, and Spring. And then there's a couple of extra bonus stuff that they can have, but these are the main things. And if I can't find 75% of that in 20 seconds, you get rejected. That is what happens when a recruiter is reviewing your resume. So we begin and go. Okay, can't use anything here. Where's your education? I don't know. Spring Boot, okay, that is useful. Nothing else. Why do I care about this? I don't. Why do I care about events? And okay, nothing for full stack. Java, okay, good. Multi-threading actually is something that could be used. Spring Boot and REST and microservices I can count, and that is it. So yeah, this is why you're getting rejected by everybody, is this is a very bad resume. This is terrible. The formatting is honestly not the worst. I prefer my formatting, but you could do an awful lot worse than this. This is my formatting. It's on my website. You should use it. This is a bullet point problem, not a formatting problem. Even if you had perfect formatting, you would not be moved forward because I did not find literally anything I wanted. You wrote it up here, but again, I cannot use anything in a skills section. Skills sections are irrelevant. They do not help you. If it is in a skills section, it just does not count. It has to be in a bullet point, if it tells me how you did it, the reason or result in what you did, and what you did. So if it's not those three in a bullet point, then it doesn't count. And that's the problem, is there's absolutely nothing here that would indicate you are a full stack dev. Again, I'm not saying you need to write full stack up here as the job description, as the title. That can be nice, but it needs to be here. If I see full stack here, but nothing here that implies full stack, I can't move you forward. The bullet points are what matters in your resume. Everything else is fluff. Although in this case, I also don't know where your education is, so maybe you're a self-taught dev, which is okay, but you're definitely going to have a harder time getting a job if that's the case. So, what did you write to me? I have been applying aggressively, and I must have applied for about 1,000 jobs. I've had 2 interview opportunities to date. Yeah, so that's about 150 to 1. And 1 offer. Oh, good. Yeah, that's actually pretty good that you got an offer. Again, if you spam enough resumes, sometimes you get lucky. That's what the ratio tells you, is how much of it is luck versus how much of it is, what you can control. And this person has a terrible resume. They probably should not have needed to apply to 1,000 jobs to get an offer. They probably only needed to apply to less than 200 if they had their resume correct. So please help me figure out what I'm doing wrong. It's absolutely your resume. It's awful. I have 2 years of experience in Java and DevOps. Okay, so yeah, big thing. Your resume is just bad. It does not contain what I need. You tried to convince me that you were good by showing me that you ensured 500 events a day at 99.9% reliability, and that you reduced processing time by 4 to 5 days to 15 minutes. That's not in the job description. Even if they have you do that, that's not what they're going to be seeking. I have literally never seen somebody get a interview, much less a job, by showing that they've reduced events or reliability by a certain amount of thing. That is not what gets people jobs. This is what gets people jobs. This stuff that you threw into the skills section, if you expanded upon this, you would be getting a job. But right now, I don't see TypeScript. I don't see JavaScript. I don't see HTML and CSS. And if in a full stack developer, I do not see Java or TypeScript at the very beginning and JavaScript, HTML and CSS, you're probably not going to be moving forward. And most other managers and recruiters agree with that. That is the problem, is you need to write the basic skills, because that is what a resume actually shows. It does not show me how good you are. You cannot tell how good somebody is based on a resume. That is not its purpose. Its entire purpose is to show that you meet the bare minimum qualifications. And you do not show that you meet the bare minimum qualifications because you put it in a skills section. So I need you to write this stuff into here, and I need you to tell me what you did, which is those actual words, how you did it, and the reason or result of you doing it. If I don't see that, I can't move you forward. I wish I could. I wish I could see that you ensured 500 events a day at 99.9% reliability and move you forward, but that's irrelevant. It means absolutely nothing on the resume. Even if they want that, they're not going to look for it in the job description, and the manager and the recruiter are not going to use that as a metric to move you forward. So you need to redo this whole thing, because the bullet points are bad, and make bullet points that has the context of what I actually want. Otherwise, you are going to keep getting rejected. That is why you are having a problem. So that's all I can do for this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get these qualifications, and I help people out a little bit more than I do in the YouTube video. And if you watch 3 to 5 streams in a row, you will get a free resume skip line. So, and since my resume line is currently over 260 long, people may need to use that. But for everybody else who's not there right now, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. So for a software engineer intern, we don't actually need a ton. In fact, for most interns, not just software engineer, you really only need to show a basic knowledge of whatever it is you're interning for. In this case, it's going to be a tech stack. So like language library, SQL Cloud, maybe trying to think if there's anything else critical, maybe a teeny bit of AI, and that you need to show you have the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism. So I don't know how good or bad this resume is because they did not include a ratio. Please try to include a ratio. Okay, I just saw this. You are a master's, so you are going to want actually a little bit more of whatever it is you're applying for, right? So their bachelor's interns are just going to be this. Master's interns, you usually need a little bit more of the actual tech stack. So instead of just like Java and let's just say Django for some reason, SQL and AWS, you would need like a little bit of CI/CD. You would need maybe JavaScript, HTML, CSS if you were doing full stack, or if you were doing Python, it would be Python and Django and Docker. So you need a little bit more than just this, but you still need to show that you can work well with others and take direction and criticism. Absolutely. So let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds and go. All right. Python, good. PySpark, SQL, okay, good. And Pandas and Azure and Databricks, okay. Okay, CI/CD processes is not bad, but so wait, what are you applying for? PyTorch, there's so much here. Most of it is not related. Okay, so that's it. So I did not see how you could like work together with other people, which is a little bit less critical for a master's intern, but you still need to put a little bit of it in. So let me read what you said. I was an international student from India, but born in Saudi Arabia, and I'm pursuing my master's. I don't know if that's going to affect your chances of an internship. Once you graduate in the U.S., it's absolutely going to tank your chances. But for an intern, usually that's okay, as long as you have the work. As long as you have the visa, you should be able to be fine with for an intern. I just started applying for 2026 internships. I followed your advice and built this resume. Please let me know if this will fly with companies here. So it's not the worst, okay? It's a big thing, though, is just you've kind of crammed everything into it. So it's not that you wrote the stuff wrong. It's that if I'm looking for a full stack software engineer, I don't care about SAP or BW or where was it else? Or data factories or potentially Databricks. Maybe I could care about Databricks or all of this AI. like that, or Power BI and Tableau. Like, you kind of made this resume, and this is why this is not working, is this could go between a data engineer, a Python developer, an AI engineer, and a data analyst, or maybe even a data scientist. And if your resume is more than one thing, it's going to fail. So I need you to split this off into multiple resumes, because if I'm looking for, say, a Python dev, I don't care about SAP, HANA, or whatever that is, or Power BI and Tableau. I don't care about Data Factory. I do care about Azure, but they may not know that Azure Data Factory is the equivalent to Azure, because, you know, if Java is different than JavaScript, you cannot expect somebody to know that. So I think you just want to say Azure. You don't need to say Azure Data Factory. And then also you mentioned data lakes, which, again, great for a data engineer, possibly nice for a data scientist, although mostly data engineer, but completely irrelevant for a Python dev. And then you have AI, which is okay, but you have so much of it. So I need you to pick a lane, right? Like, that's your problem right now, and why this would not fly is this is trying to do 4 or 5 different jobs. And if your resume can do 4 or 5 different jobs, it will get you none of them. A resume is built for a specific job title. So how you wrote these was correct. You just have too much irrelevant data for an individual role, to the point where I actually miss the fact that you've been in an agile environment. So also, you don't want to just say demonstrating the ability to work with others and take direction, improve solutions. That's not what I'm saying. You have to show it. You cannot tell. You have to say worked with senior developers to together every day to create a blank where we would go over each other's code and implement feedback based on that in an agile environment. That would be showing it. But just saying demonstrating the ability to work well with others and take direction to improve solutions, no. It's the same way as, like, multitasking is a qualification in a lot of jobs, but you cannot just say I multitask. You have to show me how to do it. Show me how you do it. So those are the 2 main issues, and I would fix your formatting slightly. Again, should look like this, easier to read, but it's not terrible, right? I don't want you to think me saying all this stuff is your resume is garbage and should be burned. It's not. It's just, it's very competitive, and you're going to need all the help you can get, and those are some tweaks that will improve your chances. Let's go to the next resume. This is a data scientist resume. So I don't fully know this. Wait, did this person give me a ratio? Yeah, 1 to 75. So that's not good. Again, you want it to be lower than 1 in 50, but it also could be an awful lot worse than 1 in 75. So let's see what we need for a data scientist. Degree, Python, R, SQL, data in all its forms. So data modeling, data analytics, possibly data lake. As you can tell, this is the stuff we may have wanted to see from the previous resume if it was a data scientist, but it's not. They said software engineer. Your industry, every industry is going to have a couple of specific qualifications, such as software would want like SDLC, and healthcare would want maybe HIPAA. I'm not as into the healthcare space, but there are certain ones that I cannot know. Explaining stuff to non-technical folk. Oh my gosh, this is probably the most important part of your resume that everybody doesn't take seriously. You need to show me how you explained complex topics to non-technical people. That is, like, so important. Influencing stakeholders, cross-functional, cloud, AWS, GCP, or Azure, Microsoft Office applications, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Sheets, AI, LLM, ML, NLP, Spark, Skibbity-learn, Pandas, NumPy. I want to see some of the AI. I don't want you to go crazy and have the entire resume based on AI. And dashboards, data visualizations, Tableau, Power BI, ETL. So, can I find that in 20 seconds? Oh, let's find out. All right, and go. Okay, so some AI is good. What? Okay. Okay, can't use anything here. What? Okay. CI/CD, so at least that's industry. Yeah, okay, no, definitely no. All right, so this would not work. What did this person write to me? Hey, thanks for helping me. I'm currently a student looking for my first role as a junior data scientist, machine learning engineer. Those are different jobs. The qualifications for those are very different. This might have passed as an ML engineer, but not as a data scientist. Those are different roles. My main focus is Europe, but I'm also open to positions in the US. Well, if you You cannot work in the US without work authorization. You need that before you can work. I feel like there's a misconception where people think that you can apply to a job and then get work authorization. The chances of that happening are not going to happen. Like, could it happen? Yes, but no. That's like planning your savings by, you know, planning your retirement by putting in $150 into the lottery every day. Could you theoretically win? Yes. Will you? No. So you need to have the ability to work in the United States before you apply to jobs in the United States. So I recently started my job search, and so far I've sent around 65 applications, received 1 interview. Okay. I'd be grateful for feedback on my resume and overall strategy. So first off, I'm a US-based recruiter. Some of this stuff may not fully work in the EU or the UK. I don't know their qualifications list as well. The problem with this resume is, I mean, I've never looked at a data scientist in the EU. Maybe this is what they want for an EU data scientist. I imagine no, because I'm assuming that based on the area you apply to just does not have a lot of people, so a 1 in 65 ratio is actually worse. But it's also, you need to apply to more, because it could be your real ratio is 750 to 1, and you just got lucky with that one. So I don't know if we can count the 1 in 75 yet. But my biggest problem with this one is it's split between this and a machine learning resume. You need to split those up. A data scientist may use some ML, and a machine learning may use a lot of data science, but those are different roles, and the requirements for one will stop you from getting a job with the other. So this, in fact, this might look better for, let me look at machine learning real quick, because I think that's what this is more closer to. Yeah, this is closer to that. So this is what I'd want for machine learning. Again, there's some similarities, but this is a lot closer. Although I need you to be specific about what this is. Like Reddit. Okay, so these are projects. Okay, don't just say work history, projects, internships. Just say projects. Yeah, just say projects. Don't say all of this together. Either say work history and then put your projects, or just say projects. You don't want to. This looks weird. But yeah, it's not the worst, right? I just need a little bit more on, like, why did you do this? What was the point of this? And what was the point of what you did for that? Like, why is it important that you ingested comments from Reddit? And this is a problem that a lot of data scientists get wrong, is they try to focus on how they got the data, like, and how clean and non-toxic the data is. The problem is we don't care about that. We care what you do with the data. So I don't really care how you got it. It's not really relevant. I just care that it's accurate and that you show me what you do with it. So is it the worst resume in the world? No, it's not. I just think it needs a little bit to be a little bit better, at least if you have the work authorization or trying to apply to the US. So yeah, you need to give this another once over and make this clearer, because these bullet points are incomprehensible to a non-technical person. And again, split this into a data scientist one and a machine learning one. Next, resume. This is a resume of a data scientist intern. So again, most interns want kind of the same thing. In this case, degree, Python or Java or R or OOP, just the basics. Little bit of AI, LLM, cloud, maybe a library or two, RESTful APIs, Git, SQL, Excel, Tableau. Communicate tech to non-tech people. Again, that is massive. And work well with others and take criticism. So this is what we're looking for, and this will be a bonus, but we can ignore that for now. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Let's find out. And go. Oh, this is very hard to read. I hate this formatting. Leveraged big... Why do I care about that? Why do I care about 10 million earning calls? That's not what I need. NLP is at least largely relevant. What is BL? What? Oh, okay. Is that supposed to be... Okay. This is a nightmare, and I hate this. This probably gets very little interviews. All right. So, what did they say? Looking for a data science software dev internship. Okay, those are different roles. Those are separate roles. That requires 2 different resumes. You cannot use the same resume for each. First internship took me 1,000 applications with only around 70 interviews and 10 or so offers. What's the math on that? 1,000. That's actually not the worst, right? That could be. It could be a lot worse. That's actually not terrible. All right. I'm primarily struggling with getting into the larger top tier companies right now. Usually ghosted or first round interview with no follow up. I think it might be by previous companies that are not that big. But it might also be an industry mismatch, as my only least internship was the investment sector. I mean, honestly, I think it's the fact of how you wrote this. Like, yeah, the formatting's bad, but when I'm looking at this, this is actually closer to how I would want you to write the internships. Yeah, your projects are good. In fact, okay, so first off, let me, I think I understand what part of the problem is. Okay. So first off, your formatting sucks. All right? Your actual ratio, not the worst, could be a lot worse, but I need you to fix the formatting because this is a nightmare to read. So I need you to make it look like this. If it's longer than a page, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But this is very difficult to read. The second part is, based on how internships are, is I have a feeling you started to have a little bit of struggle after you started to add these to it, because how you wrote these is not quite what I would like. Now, with the full disclosure that I have not worked for the top 5 or whatever finance companies, that's not something I've done, but I do know how recruiters and hiring managers think. And this is very difficult to read and contains almost nothing I would want for specifically a data scientist. NLP is nice, and that's kind of it. So, but if we look down here, right, and I'm highlighting these because this font makes it hard to read, this is actually how I like bullet points mostly to be written. I think these need to be in like 2 bullet points instead of 1, but engineered an AI native everything website combining Next.js, Tailwind, and Vercel for front-end development with serverless fast API microservices for recursive content generation. This is a perfect sentence. This is exactly how I want you to write a sentence. None of this $500 a month revenue garbage or 100 man hours. This is how you write a good sentence. Then you needed to add a period instead of a comma, and then have this as integrated LLM-powered composition pipelines for auto-hosted websites, retrieval from third-party pages for fast thing. So my assumption on this, and you do have some good stuff, right? You have RAG, you have ML-based AI, is that you've actually tanked your chances, not because these are not impressive company-wise, but because it's such a nightmare to read and does not contain what I actually need for a data scientist or a, what was the other one you needed? A data scientist or a software dev. So how you wrote these is tanking your chances, because this right here, I have what I need, but why do I have to go all the way down here to almost get the first point I need besides NLP? Is you've tried to show these companies as impressive to impress us. This is not a bit. I'm not saying you will not impress me because my heart has shriveled up to nothing. I'm saying you will not impress hiring managers or recruiters with your resume because you don't have the time to be impressed in the volume that we read it on. You physically cannot be impressed like that. It does not work. We do not have the time. We will not understand it in the 20 seconds we have. So you have failed at this one because you have focused on trying to impress me instead of writing what you did like you did down here. Because these are well written. These are how I would want you to write them, even if the content is not something individually I would want. And although, again, you need to add bullet points under them to make it clearer, but this is how I want you to write stuff. This is garbage. This is actually how you write it. So that's part of your problem, is it's so hard to read that these companies are looking at your resume and they said, oh, there's a nice company. I don't know what they did. Oh, they saved 100 man hours for 600 entries. Declined. I'm not looking for that. I don't care about that. They did 5 catchas and 200 plus carriers, saving 10K. I don't care about that. That's an intern. Your job's not to save money. That's why you're getting rejected. So again, it's stop impressing us, right? We will never be impressed. It just does not work. In fact, if I see a resume that is impressive, I think it is a fake candidate, which does in fact happen. There are a lot of candidates that are fake that apply from, there are not people that are applying for multiple jobs, but candidates that are lying about who they are and their skills. So just write it like this with actual bullet points, in sentences, and you're going to have a better ratio, because it's not the fact that these are not impressive companies. It's the fact that these are undecipherable bullet points. Let's go to the next resume. This is a product manager resume. So what we're looking for in a product manager is degree, your industry. You know, depends on your industry. I want to make sure I know what it is. BI tools, Microsoft Office Suite, analyzing user data and extracting business requirements from stakeholders and transforming them into product requirements. What that basically means is, can you get the data? I don't care what the data is. I just say, are you able to get it from the user? Are you able to actually get clear information from the stakeholders and transform that into a finished product? Tableau, Google Analytics, Databricks, SQL, full story, A/B testing, Figma, cross-functionally, 0 to 1, or basically from inception to end, and how you move teams faster. And then this is how you succeeded and the result of that success, but not a brag, okay? I don't want to see like, I made $12 billion, right? That's not what I'm looking for. I'm saying, you know, started our flagship product from inception until product release, which you know, sold which broke our KPI metrics or something, right? I just need to know the how and the result of that success, not the brag itself. So can I find that in 20 seconds? Let's go. This is also a 140 plus, so this is probably getting them absolutely nothing. And go. All right, what the heck is this? Okay, that's so... what? Okay, demos is okay. That's not... Okay, why do I don't care about the retention. What does the design team have to do with this? There's too many percentages. Okay, garbage. And so does everybody else think so. Doesn't mean what you've done is garbage. It just means how you explained it was terrible, right? Clear differences. Again, a resume does not show how good you are at your job. That's not what resumes do. They do not do that. So I've applied to over 1,000 jobs and continue to apply. I hold a master's degree and have over 5 years of experience, but I haven't found anything. Yes, because this is an incomprehensible mess of a resume. I really need to find something soon as possible. I know, I want you to get a job. Like, I want to be clear. I don't be mean to insult job seekers. I be mean so that you know the truth of your situation, so that you can get a job, because being unemployed with a lack of money is terrifying. That is one of the top 3 to 5 stressors you can ever have in your life. So I don't say, oh, it sucks because I think you are garbage. I'm saying, oh, it sucks, it's garbage, so that you know the truth about your actual chances in the market and how to fix them. So I open to relocation. Okay, so that's also part of it. Relocation is a yellow flag. If you are going to relocate, you need to put in a quick summary that just says, moving to X city by Y date, can move earlier if needed. That does mean you will need to do that for each relocation rec, but otherwise they're not going to move forward with you. Relocation is a giant yellow flag to companies. Massive. They will probably not move forward unless they... it's very rare for a company to move forward. That it is too big of a risk for the company. So, your problem is this is a terrible, terrible resume, right? You have fallen into the trap of trying to impress me. Again, I'm not going to be impressed, right? And while some of this is useful, and again, some of these are quote-unquote keywords, which I don't like calling them, is you don't really show me how you did that, and you kind of ruined it with instead of showing me the result, right? And I think this is a good one to explain. Validated discovery process, is that something I need? I don't think it is. It wasn't in one of the things I looked. And delivered 10 plus tailored demos. Do I need to know that you delivered 10 plus demos? You could just say delivered. In fact, you could just delete this part here and just say delivered tailored demos, because the number of demos is not relevant. Demos using Figma and Loom may be a qualification, but Figma is. Conducted user reviews, again, that is something they would be looking for. Identified pain points, good. And implemented targeted SEO optimization. Again, you're starting to lose me. I don't know if that's exactly what they're looking for, which is great. But then you don't say why you did it. You could have just said which improved our customer retention and onboarding. Right? That you don't need to see these percentages. By the time you put these percentages, you lose me. I don't need to know the percentages for this. Now, as a product manager, you may have to put some numbers in your resume. That's going to happen. But I don't want to see these percentages because they make it terrible. Again, this is not impressive. And your sentence would have been so much better if it was just like kept this, took out the numbers, and made it a little bit more relevant to why this was important. Because you did not show me why improving customer retention and onboarding time reduction is important. That's the problem. You did not tell me why that was important, and I'm not going to know. Just assume I don't, right? If you assume I'm an idiot, that's fine, but don't write your resume that you need a PhD to understand it. You cannot claim that recruiters are idiots and then write your resume so that a person with a PhD or a specialized bachelor's could understand it. This is incomprehensible to the layman. I need you to focus your resume as if you were giving it to a troublesome stakeholder. And I know you've done that. I'm sure you've had plenty of success. I want you to remember that stakeholder, that person that could not turn on their computer. That is who you need to write your resume for. And if I will ask you this, if you gave them that resume, would they understand any of this? Would they even read it? No, they would probably skip through all of this. They'd see, oh, key funnel stages. I don't know what that is. I don't care. And remove it. You got to be focused. You have not written this for the right audience. You were trying to write this for other product managers. That's why other people, they say, oh, your product manager resume is great. I'm a product manager. This shows everything. No, but they're not the ones hiring you. So I need you to focus and nail this down, because this is why you're struggling, is this is a terrible resume. This resume is why you are not getting a job. Or if you do get a job, the reason you had to work so much harder than you needed to. So that's all I can do for this resume. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends that need my help. And if you ever need more help, join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter to get you ahead of your job search.